From 6 a.m. until 10 a.m.
Let's read that now.
It can be a to-go. It can be a to-go, but it can't be drank on your butt in a facility in town.
More public comments from Mark.
Are they for the public hearing?
No.
Because if they are.
Yeah, because I'm...
Well, if it's just a complaint, you want me to do it in the public hearing?
Well, if it's about the water tower.
Well, it's about the paint.
That's where.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
we
then
need
the
to be
other one I'll
direct.
do, this one
Well, I
is
just think that there's an
it's
objective.
about taking bids for engineering.
Mhm.
That's on consent. You
So, of course, Terry's
called in, I can't be there. Can
And
you
that's,
make these comments for me?
that's his role, right? That's part of it, yeah.
Next time, put it in writing.
Okay. I know. I think he called me on his way.
Yeah, the
That's
one
all
on
he's thinking about, you know?
Yeah.
I would just tell them, put it in writing.
Okay, I can do that. That takes one, take it off.
I'll tell you what, though, that town cloud is really nice.
And then I don't.
I don't have paperwork clutter anymore. I can
Sometimes it's hard to
add.
hide my thoughts.
Yeah, I know.
That's how
Let's have it in writing. If it's better, put it in writing. And then,
Okay.
no, have the mayor read it.
Yeah. And that's,
I can do that.
and that's the answer too to the editorial today. And that's well written, and I understand where he's coming from, but, okay, well, but the way it's set up, so any item can be sold, so if you have it on new business and they don't discuss
Probably
it
not,
anyway, what's the
because
difference?
it's all determined by whatever insurance. Yeah,
And that's why we have the links out there, so everybody has the same information.
So, but should Archer and PA, should be supplying
Anybody on the council can pull it off.
And that's a winner fight,
And-
right? Yeah, where.
I usually don't release it on Monday, it's usually all out there, 98% of it's out there on Friday afternoon.
$300 a call from Boyd, which, I mean, I guess it's something, right?
Right.
I mean,
What portion of the solution is it, and what are the other options to fill the gap?
When we get back to town clouds.
Was someone supposed to call Ken in?
He's on.
Oh, he's on?
Is that Ken?
I hear you.
Ken is on there.
Can you hear me, Ken?
Hello, Ken.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you come a little closer to the mic, Ken?
Get some hearing aids.
Hey, it was my turn to get after you a little bit.
I know.
Yeah,
Got you
Tom's
on the
actually
ear
pushing
pod.
his mic further away now,
That's
so.
right.
I'm on ear pods now.
Can you hear me, Ken?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
All right.
Full volume.
I'm gonna have you call into every meeting from now on, so I don't have to yell
I-
at the mic. So.
Oh,
What's the record, 16 minutes? Gotta hope so. Oh, is it 3 minutes?
Is it really?
Okay.
Okay, you gotta have goals, Kurt. You gotta have goals. Yep, that's right.
Okay.
62, right? Justice?
Judge.
60, a judge.
Oh, 4:31.
62.
Go.
home run.
Okay, everyone, we are ready to begin. So I'd like to begin by standing for a moment of silence and follow that with the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could have roll call, please.
Brad Hitt. Here. Ken Snyder.
here.
Pete Hamill.
Here.
Wayne Barahona.
Here.
Tom Eggers.
Here.
All right, moving on then to approval of the agenda.
So moved?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Snyder?
Yes.
Hamel?
Aye.
Farahona?
Aye.
Eggers?
Aye.
Hint?
Aye.
All right, moving on then into the public forum portion of our meeting. Is there anyone here wishing to address the council at this time?
I have one.
Okay.
Marvin Reeson said that he would like the council to take bids on the engineering fees if these fees are out of line.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, we move on then to the consent agenda you have before you.
Make the motion to approve.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Eggers?
Aye.
Farahona?
Aye.
Hint?
Aye.
Hamel?
Aye.
Snyder?
Aye.
All right, moving on then to the new business, item A, the water system improvements. I'd like to open the public hearing for, the first item there is actually with pipeline. Do we want to still have the public hearing? Okay, we're going to open the public hearing for the pipeline. Is there anyone that would like to address that? Have there been any written comments issued?
None.
Okay,
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
roll call, please.
Snyder?
Aye.
Farahona?
Aye.
Hamel?
Aye.
Hint?
Aye.
Eggers?
Aye.
Before we move into the award of the contract, our attorney, Micah Scrouse, has asked for a little more time to research some issues, and so we would like to table that discussion until our next meeting, if that's all right.
I would pursue to continue with the bids, accept the bids.
Okay,
I second that.
I think we need to keep this project moving, and I think the road will go down, will lead us down to issues. So I would make the motion to approve the Holstein excavating bid.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I didn't quite hear all that Brad said.
I'd say we need to move the bid letting along and award the contract to Holstein Excavating. I think it's going to lead, if we don't, it'll lead to more issues.
Okay. Okay.
I would support the direction on this case, though I would like to understand further in the future what the position is from our legal assistant, so. But I do support the motion as it stands for today.
Okay. Anyone else?
Would this, if we would delay this, would it affect the project at all?
Have Logan Schmidt.
Yeah, Logan, we have Logan Schmidt with the engineer's office here.
Yes, this is Logan Smith here with DGR Engineering.
Hold the mic a little closer if you would, please.
Yes, no problem there. So in regard to the question of whether that would impact bids, so the bids that we received there, that was last Thursday, so the 29th of September. They're required to hold firm for 35 days. That gives us till November 3rd that those bids are good until. So the question of does that impact the bid? No, that does not. If you want to discuss or think further on that, I guess the decision to wait would not impact that bid.
Thank you.
And I can provide feedback on summary of the bids if you'd like, but that's some information you're interested in hearing.
I would be interested in hearing that, yes.
Sure. So, you have the recommendation letter that I wrote there. So we did receive 7 bids there for that contract. So, as I talked about last month, there's 2 contracts that we bid, one being for a pipeline component of the project. That's about 6,800 feet of 10-inch pipeline, and that goes from 16th to Country Club. And the 7 bids that we received, they were what I would consider to be competitive. We did have one bid with a bid error that resulted in them being not competitive, but as read, the low bid that we received was from Holstein Excavating, and that was for the amount of $564,315.50. We had an alternate bid item in there as well for repeat pipeline disinfection. The reason that we had that bid item in the contract is because if the pipeline gets done well ahead of schedule, say when the tower is ready to be completed, we may not put that online for a period of time, and we may need to have them come back to disinfect that component of pipeline. So we do feel it is important to have that item in the contract, and we would recommend approval of that alternate item as well. So low bid, yeah, like I said, there was from Holstein Excavating. The second low bid we received was from Bohr and Sons, and they were $64.50 higher on the base bid. However, when you add in an alternate bid item for the repeat pipeline disinfection, that changes the difference between Holstein and Bohr to about $3,300, $3,284.50. So on both scenarios there, whether the base bid and the alternate are awarded, Holstein Excavating remains the low bid. We've worked with them in the past with success, and I believe to understand they've done other projects here in town successfully, so that was our recommendation there, to award them the base bid plus the alternate item.
Are you aware, does the state of Iowa have provisions for accepting bids from in-state versus out-of-state contractors?
There is a resident bidder preference law in the state of Iowa that, I'll say this in so many words that I understand it to mean, if an out-of-state contractor's home state provides them with a preference as the local contractor, then that state's rule that applies to them there in their home state would then apply to them if they're bidding out of state in the state of Iowa. And to my knowledge, the state of Minnesota does not have a bid preference, so that would not. Under Iowa's rule, they adopt what the out-of-state contractor's home state provides for a preference to them. In this scenario, considering Holstein Excavating is from Minnesota, I don't believe to understand there's a bid preference law in Minnesota, so there would not be a preference in this setting.
Even though it's bidding in Iowa?
Correct.
Okay. Because not only is Boer an in-state, they also have property in Sheldon, pay taxes in Sheldon, and I'm wondering if it's worth our consideration to look at them. And have you encountered similar situations in the past?
No, and I can't speak to that end as far as Bohr and Sons being a local contractor. That's something that we would advise that you work with your legal counsel on.
Okay. Right. All right. Any other questions?
Does the state of Iowa have such a provision? Now, you said you were talking about how if Minnesota has one, then we'll follow it here, so on and so forth. Does
Correct.
Iowa have one?
So it's kind of hard to explain. Iowa, the rule in Iowa is if the out-of-state contractor's home state, this is the Iowa rule, if their state provides them with a preference over an out-of-state contractor, say it were a Minnesota project, yes, say the roles were reversed, and it were a Minnesota project and an Iowa bidder received a 5% bid preference there, say, for example. Okay, now, reverse the roles. In Iowa, the Minnesota, no, I'm saying that incorrectly. Because Iowa doesn't allow a preference.
Holstein was able to get a bid preference in Minnesota as a local contractor in Minnesota, then Iowa would allow you to give a bid preference for a local bidder.
Correct.
Against Holstein.
Okay,
Correct. It's called the resident bidder preference law.
okay,
And I have, it's part of our contract.
okay. Well, if that's accurate, I think that's sufficient at this time. That answers my question. So the answer really is no. In this case, it would be no.
Correct.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? Let's, roll call, please.
Hen.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Farahona.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Okay. That's everybody. All right, that motion carries. Next item is going to be the public hearing for the elevated tank. Is there anyone that wishes to speak to that?
I have a comment.
Okay.
Sorry. Comment from Marvin Reeson. Regarding the elevated tank, the extra $100,000 for the painting and lighting of that, with the inflation rates that are increased, we can't afford that.
Okay. Any other comments? Take a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Hamel.
Aye.
Hen.
Aye.
Farahona.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
All right, then let's move on to the next item, discussing the award of the contract. Anything you'd like to add at this time?
I'll be brief here. The bids we received, again, were competitive. The low bid that we received was from McGuire Iron. They are out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We've done many projects with McGuire Iron over the years. So two styles of tanks were bid. I'll maybe add this in too. A single pedestal style of tank, which is a complete steel tank. So a steel base that goes up to a container on the top. We bid that as an alternative, and a composite style of construction. Composite would be a concrete pedestal and a steel structure on top for the water containing basin. Oftentimes we bid those head to head because there is some life cycle cost benefit to having a concrete pedestal where there may be some reduced maintenance costs over that life cycle where you're not maintaining the painting of the steel. So what we do independently then is we will run a life cycle cost analysis to review over the course of a determined time period what we feel is the most cost-effective solution. In doing that, the difference between the low bid that we received for a single pedestal style of tank, all steel tank, and a composite style of tank was about just shy of $400,000 in favor of the all steel tank. So when conducting a life cycle cost analysis, we still feel that the most cost-effective solution is the all steel tank due to that big capital cost savings of nearly $400,000 there.
Okay. Any other questions from the council? Do you have any comments?
Nice work. Thank you.
Okay. All right, then we'll, we have a motion? We need a motion then to approve the contract,
So moved.
Support.
and I assume there's no more, now is your last chance. Any comments or questions?
Just glad we're this far along in this project. We've talked about this for many years.
All right, roll call, please.
Hen.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Farahona.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
All right, moving on then to item B under new business, the second reading of the ordinance amending the code of ordinances pertaining to fireworks. Any comments at this time or questions?
Has there been any written responses to it?
None.
I've had no feedback, oral or written as well. Any of you? Same here. So,
I could say something.
yes, you bet.
At the last meeting, there was discussion on the fair language, and I consulted with Iowa codification on that with my suggested amendment. I do not believe that it's a substantial change, so I don't think we need to start over with first reading. So that is linked. So.
All right, I move we accept the second reading and waive the third.
I'll support that.
Any
Waive to
further-
third or move to third?
Oh, we could waive it.
I wasn't sure what you meant.
Yeah, because we don't need the third reading.
He said waive.
Yeah.
That's what I understood you as
Yep.
saying.
Yep.
Waive the third reading.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call.
I don't think Brad's mic is on.
Can you hear me now?
Just need to be closer.
Have it in
You
my-
sound almost as low as
Hello?
Tom usually does.
Hello?
There, I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
It was on all the time, so.
Okay, any questions on the second reading, moving forward with the ordinance on fireworks, Ken?
No, no.
Okay, then roll call, please.
Hamel.
Aye.
Farahona.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
So is there any, we need to have a hearing or not? They're not going for it,
no
so.
need to have a
So
hearing.
item C is no longer on the agenda because of Family Dollar withdrawing their TIP application, so we move on then to the reports portion of our meeting. Anything from you, Sam?
Yes, if you don't mind, if I could back up to the previous item. So the closing on the Family Dollar site has occurred. The permit has been issued. It was paid for the other day. So I understand that they can go ahead, they plan to proceed with their project. If they would like to bring forward TIF application later, they can. It just has to be done before there's substantial improvements made on the site. So now if I can, I'll move into city manager's report.
Yes, sir.
To the minimum assessment.
So it's not very exciting, but it's really important. I have a Dropbox link in there to 3 personnel manuals. I wouldn't recommend reading all 3 of them, but
Unless you're ready to go to sleep.
right. But this is, so in 2006, that's the model we're using now, and it is largely the same as what was written in 1990. And you can see with some of the language in there that a lot of it dates to the early 80s and before. There's whole sections on HIV and AIDS, for example, so it was probably written in 86, 87 when that was a big issue or concern for employers. So anyway, long story short, Micah has been helping me with this, and I've had internal staff reviews as well, getting very close to being able to present to you for final action. There are a few points that Micah needs to review, and planning on a December action if possible, try to have it wrapped up before budget. Any questions on that? Okay. And then the rest of my report speaks for itself.
Okay, any questions for Sam? Okay, Todd's not here. Curtis, anything you'd like to say? Chief Birch? Okay, Angie?
No, thank you.
Micah?
No, thank you.
All right, counsel to my left?
Next week is fire prevention, so I recommend everybody check their smoke alarms, make sure they're functioning, and also practice a fire drill in your house. And if anybody after the meeting wants to see the new ladder truck, I'd be happy to show you.
Can
Fire-
we drive it?
What's that?
Can I drive it?
I'm sure we could allow that.
I don't think he's
I got a
insured.
ride, I got a ride yesterday.
Andrew said no, because you're not insured.
I will.
Sure, blame
defer
her.
to Andy.
Heavily insured.
Okay.
Brad, are you guys doing things next week for the community?
Yep, we'll be doing the fire prevention at the school Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday night, the 13th, we'll be having an open house, 5 to 7. Our grilled burgers, free will donation with that, and some fire prevention stuff, and then we're giving away 100 smoke detectors, one per resident. With the recent house fires over the last couple of years, a lot of times we go to houses that do not have working smoke alarms, and they do save lives. So, and it's really cheap insurance for the cost of a smoke detector.
Will that be a first come, first serve, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, one per resident.
Do smoke detectors
resident or
get
household?
outdated?
Yes, 10-year life.
Is that even for a hardwired one?
Yes. Yep,
Did you say one per resident or one per household?
one per household.
Okay.
Resident
Well, if your wife cooks like mine, you get to use them often.
household.
Oh, yeah, that just went on public record?
Well, somebody's sleeping in the outside.
we still on?
Angie, put that in the minutes, please.
I don't know who said that, but I feel sorry for him later.
Did you tweet that, Justin? I lost you.
So Ken, you're normally to my left. Is there anything you want to address the council about?
No, I'm just worried about that one comment.
Okay. And
Other
then,
than that, nothing.
okay, very good. Accounts to my right. Any other
Can we
comments?
strike the last 30 seconds from the record?
Technology guy.
All right. And I have nothing, so I'll consider a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Hint.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Farahona.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.